Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm not going to speak politics. My name is Nashon Mugonchi. I'm a trained teacher with 20 years of teaching experience in both secondary, college, and university levels. Today I want to speak on something that has come into my mind. It is public knowledge that from tomorrow, so many public servants, both teachers and in the public service, will be retiring. At least from the record I know, 12,632 teachers would be leaving the service after attaining the mandatory retirement age. That group of teachers who are retiring are among the A-levels teachers, and this could be the largest number that is exiting, and therefore in the next 2 years we will not be having anybody who went through the A-level system of education in our public system, in our public service system. Therefore, the 844 graduates are systematically taking over in all spheres of our socioeconomic sectors. This brings into question or into focus the crisis that is facing this country, and more especially in the education sector. I have a hunch that there is severe workplace bullying. I'm the 7th cohort of the 844, and those of us who went to school during my time, we know the kind of bullying that was in those schools. And therefore, the question I want to exercise my mind on is the trauma on that bullying, from that bullying coming back to haunt our society. Now, I want to bring into perspective one incident that is trending currently. Students were supposed to return to school at Musagitau Secondary School by 10 a.m. today. And by 11 a.m., the parents were being turned away with their children so that they can come back on another day because they had been considered to be late. To me, that kind of decision sounds bizarre, because if a parent has come to school and it's within working hours, and even if it could have been beyond working hours, I do not find reason whatsoever as a teacher why I would turn away this parent. I'm viewing some of the happenings that are in our schools as originating from the trauma that some of the administrators could be nursing, because as we speak now, a majority of the administrators in our schools should now be early 844 graduates. And these are the people who suffered the worst kind of bullying, and therefore either they were themselves bullies or they were bullied. Either way, these are individuals who are nursing trauma. And this trauma, I feel, is haunting our society currently. Now, the conduct of school administrators is characteristic of bullies. Bullies, by their nature, they engage in a pattern of exclusion. Therefore, it is not surprising to see school administrators who derive pleasure by using all manner of excuses to deny students very basic things that persons who are really not under any restrictions should be able to enjoy. During our days in school, much as there was bullying, at least we were allowed to write letters. There was an office messenger who could deliver those letters to the post office, and then we could receive our letters. There was no vetting, and therefore we enjoyed some free communication from our boarding schools to the outside world. Situation in our schools. Remember, our children are currently growing in what I can call the technological boom. We did not have the phones, the phone handsets that are there. There was no network anywhere. There was no telephone service in this country other than the landline services. At this age and era, you don't expect a student to rely on letter writing to communicate back home with the parents. That was our time. You don't expect these children to be visited during the weekend by a photoman to take photos. That was our time. You don't expect these kids to have photo albums where they will print their albums and keep them for future reference or future memories. These are kids who, fortunately or unfortunately, are growing at a time when cell phone technology has expanded so much. As an old school, I will view social media as a limitation to our children. But unfortunately, these kids are living that time. much as we wanted to also take photos and keep them for memory in our photo albums, these kids will not buy photo albums. Where they keep their memory is in the clouds, in social media platforms. What am I driving at? I'm saying if you are a school administrator and you have not created structures where students will periodically call home, talk to their brothers, talk to their sisters, talk to their parents, and even their friends in other schools, I want to tell you that you are failing. I have that feeling that you are failing because essentially what you are doing, you are converting a learning environment into a maximum correctional facility. I'm alive to the fact that the school system also faces its own challenges. But a serious school administrator must rise to the occasion so that you manage the wayward students, but at the same time, give those good students an opportunity to grow, to mature, and make the best of the school environment. At the start of this year, so many letters, so many show cause letters addressed to teachers were circulating on social media. And I took time to look at the contents of some of those letters and the way they are written. And I raised issues that some of the letters have no intention whatsoever to curtail the liberty of school administrators to discharge that role. But the manner in which you do it would either destroy the teaching learning environment or improve on the teaching learning environment. But then as a teacher, I've had a pattern of exclusion of some teachers. I've also witnessed school administrators who are dismissive in meetings or even in public spaces. I've witnessed school administrators who criticize in public and who exhibit high-handedness, who can tear down their teachers, whether they are aggrieved or they perceive to be aggrieved. And then you could also witness some level of aggressiveness among some school administrators. And then what that tells me is that this constant criticism, public humiliation, manipulation, setting goals that are actually unattainable, spreading rumors in schools against staff, and other manner of conduct such as silent treatment of staff, verbal abuse, and micromanagement of staff is a manifestation of trauma from a dark era of bullying that went on from the early 90s up to around the year 2020 or thereabout. I want to urge those of us who are remaining in the teaching profession, we still have some time. We need to do a thorough introspection, ask ourselves how best we are going to create a conducive, safe teaching environment for our children. And most importantly, I'm urging that we now start reconsidering, reevaluating whether telephone technology, whether we have come of age to now allow telephone technology in our schools to enhance learning and ease the pressure that we have the teaching and learning exposes to our children. But most importantly, we need to ask ourselves, is our past as students going to haunt this nation as we are going to take over leadership in all spheres of our sector? I want to leave you with that challenge so that in the next 2 years, remember, it's only 844 graduates, or majority of them. You are the people who are going to run this country, and please be careful not to destroy this country because of the trauma, our past trauma in our